Okay, so I went to court today at 3 p.m. and I learned yesterday from the judge's chambers and through the clerks at the Chelan County clerk's office that the paperwork that I've been waiting since Tuesday of last week for a signature was in the judge's chambers, and that we would be addressing that motion in today's hearing. Today's hearing was special set by the opposing party's attorney based on whether or not he feels like he should have to pay the fees because I brought the venue to an improper county because it's not where the final order was made, and it's not where the child or the parent with custody resides. And so the judge is not signing my motion to show cause for keeping it in Chelan County, and he basically says that I can, well, they suggested that I even save money by just forgetting all about this motion that I've been working on since May and just go back into Douglas County to my original case, the one in which I lost custody, and ask to hold the other party in contempt. And what I explained to the courts today is that I've already done that. February 18th, March 17th, and then the other party basically tried to make it sound like I just don't want to see my daughter, essentially, and that I wouldn't like any judge no matter who the judge was. That was his argument, from what I can remember, because having post-traumatic stress disorder and trying to remember something that just happened at 3 o'clock today, and I was already having, well, I tried to stay calm, but having anxiety about going to court and standing up and arguing for yourself. Needless to say, this time I am so much more calm and collected and not allowing today's decision to get under my skin. Because that's what they want, and I suppose it could hurt some of the suggestions that they made, and the fact that I do all this work trying to present a motion just to be told, you really would benefit by having an attorney, and trying to explain that I've had an attorney. I paid $6 grand. We actually skipped the tree in 2019 2018, and we didn't buy presents. We had presents to open from other family and extended family, but we chose together as a family to not buy presents and spend a lot of money on Christmas because we were paying an attorney $1,000 a month. Hired him in October, paid him the retainer, which was $1,500, and then he just wanted another $1,000 and another $1,000 and another $1,000, and anyways, no orders were ever presented or signed. And I argued all of this today, and I was basically begging Chelan County, please don't send me back to Douglas, because I don't think they have any due process or equal protection under the law. And the judge said, well, he repeats himself in his ruling. He's not going to keep it in Chelan. He's going to change the venue back to Douglas County. And that he doesn't see that I've tried to motion the courts. And then Attorney Collier says I haven't petitioned to modify. Just okay, listen. My dad passed away March 7th of 2017, and directly afterwards, in fact during and when my dad fell ill, I was working on trying to move the case to Island County because that's where she resided, and Honorable Judge Vicky Churchill from Island County basically wasn't going to touch it. So I ended up back in Douglas, where I again petitioned the court for a modification of the parenting plan, and nothing came of that. That would have been a June 14th, 2017 hearing where the judge said that I could do visitation at the Apple Valley Baptist Church in Rock Island. But then the other party threw a fit that that my daughter would be surrounded by a congregation and that we could basically all, you know, create a campaign of denigration against the other party, and that it wasn't one-on-one quality time. And then the church went, and after I got the order from the judge to do so, the church went and said they didn't want to mix church and state. So needless to say, I am my own church. Where two or more are gathered, there the Lord is also, and also where two or more are gathered and agree, it is a law. Yep. So the next time that I petitioned the court was because I started seeing her after June of 2017. Again, I started seeing her that November, and from November, and then the judge allowed the other party to have a restraining order that protected me from my ex-husband because I drove over to Camino Island to give the parenting plan and paperwork to Chelan County Sheriff's Department concerning the Chelan County case that I was trying to file. So the judge went ahead and allowed the restraining order. So that restraining order went into effect December of the previous year, so it would have been December of 2016 that went into effect. And then it would have expired December of 2017. So in the time that I got to see my daughter, I didn't have to deal with my ex-husband parked in the parking lot or across the street at the bank or wherever, staring at me, seeing whether I've gained or lost 20 pounds, what color my hair is. And I've had a lot of people say, well, you know, you shouldn't bother worrying about what he's doing because all you're there to do is see your kid. No, listen to me. If you are going into a store and you see your rapist in the parking lot, you're going to have a physiological reaction that you cannot control. So just hold that in your head lightly, because that's not the case here, but just think about how trauma works. And so and I don't need to explain myself right now, by the way. When he started showing up in the parking lot when I would come to see her at the visitation facility, and he would be there when I was leaving the visitation facility, and that went on, that wasn't happening during the restraining order, but that went on after the restraining order ended. It immediately began, and it went on until I stopped going to visits July 8th, 2018. Here's this whole story, guys. I stopped going to visits because since December, January of 2018, I had continually asked, please ask him not to be present. And she says, oh, well, if he waits over at the Washington Trust Bank, there's really nothing I can do about it. A lot of parents wait over there. Well, the RCW statutes say that he's stalking, he's harassing, he's provoking, and he's intimidating, and it's causing me to have physiological reactions based on triggers, and he will not respect me. I'm not allowed to touch her hair, I'm not allowed to change her clothes, I'm not allowed to bring her gifts, we're not allowed to leave the facility. I pay $50 an hour, we can't even go fly a kite, we can't go to the taco wagon, which is literally right there by Neil's Boots. And then where I was doing the visitation is behind 807 Benton Way, where the DNL surplus is. So I'm basically paying $50 an hour to sit in a cubicle year after year after year, while the supervised visitation professional is aligned with the other party. You know, because I'm the bad guy, right? Because I made allegations. So again, you know, I've said, they basically said that I made false allegations in bad faith and that I was coaching and interrogating my child to say the things she said. Even though she disclosed to a play therapist, they basically got me in trouble for using the same nurse, because if there was ever a problem that I felt like needed to be checked out by a physician, which was 3 different times that I took her to the same exam at the emergency room with the same nurse, which is a sexual abuse nurse examiner. That's what SANE means. And they basically brought Dad in to bolster the CPS case. This is all a lot of information, okay? So the point is, I didn't have proof of the allegations that I was raising, and I get that the allegations that I was raising were pretty heavy. And when I walked into this whole situation, I didn't know it was going to end up like this. So I, too, already traumatized from divorce, traumatized from domestic violence in my marriage, traumatized by being pregnant and that constant fear of not knowing how I was going to take care of myself or my baby, because I had relied on this person for financial support and all these other things anyways. So moving along to today, I haven't seen my daughter in 5 years. Well, I mean, I've seen her, but you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen her without a court order stating that I have to pay $50 an hour to D. Cummings at Pathways to Parenting. Yeah, this video is pretty much over. I mean, I'm just saying, I was trying to update you on how court went today. And this is how P.T.S.D works. I'm just, you know, skipping down the yellow brick road. Anyhow, my head's up. My eyes are clear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up on my little girl. I'm not taking this back to Douglas County. I'm not going to ask Chelan County for anything else. She lives in Okanagan County, so I guess that's where I'm going tomorrow. You guys have a good night.